You're listening to the Bloodshed Baddies.
Hi, I'm Lex,
And I'm Sam.
and we are the Bloodshed Baddies.
What is up,
Bow,
baddies?
bow, 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 bow.
Coming to you another week. Whoop, whoop. Lexi,
Sammy,
what are you eating for dinner tonight?
literally no idea. I was thinking on the way home. I have no food in my fridge. So I was like, I don't know, it might end up being a hot dog.
You love your hot dogs.
I have hot dogs and corn in my fridge.
So when you go to the grocery store or you want to make a new meal, where are you finding your new recipes to make something new?
A lot of times on Pinterest.
Oh, Pinterest is good.
Yeah.
So I bring this up for two reasons.
Okay.
Well, one main reason, but reason one,
Recent one.
I usually go to Half Baked Harvest. She is super well known. She has cookbooks out. She's on Instagram, but all of her recipes, every time I make them, so good. Main reason, number two,
Okay.
is even though, I've kind of given up social medias for a little bit,
Mhm.
I still go on Instagram Reels to send to my husband because they're funny and we send them to each other. I came across one that I'm obsessed with, and you need to check it out, and so do all the baddies. It is called Dead Gregs. Deadgregs. Dead Gregs.
Dead Greg's.
This man, his roommate's estranged dead uncle who loved alcohol, had all of these recipes that they got after he passed on. And he just spins the wheel and then picks the recipe out of the bag and makes the recipe and they try it together. And I haven't yet, but I'm 1,000% gonna make some of these recipes.
Oh my gosh. I just went and followed him on the Bloodshed Baddies account, and I am so excited for this.
First off, I don't know why I'm obsessed. I've watched every video that they come out with, but it's just this man's recipes that they go in these bags and they're all handwritten. And he sometimes the guy spells words wrong and he pronounces them how he spells it wrong. And
Mm.
they're just so entertaining.
The seafood stuffed shells look yummy.
Girl, that was one of the ones I'm making this for sure.
I also, it looks like a pork chop of some kind. I'm unsure. But the cover page is a picture of a pork chop and it says sexy next to it.
See, I want to be their friend and I want to make these recipes. The first one I saw was a grilled cheese with this homemade jam. And I was like, this looks
Oh,
so good. Yes. So I think next time we chat, we should make a Dead Greg's recipe.
yes. Okay. We'll both make one this week. And the next week when we chat, we will see how it turned out.
I'm so excited. And I'm excited that you seem as excited to follow this man as I do. So I don't seem as weird.
So, baddies, go follow Dead Greg's and make a recipe this week. So that way you can drop it in the comments and we can chat about what recipes everyone made.
Yes, comment which ones you made, like Lexi said. I think that'd be so much fun. And comment where you find your recipes too, baddies, because I always like to try to make new ones and switch it up. I hate eating the same thing for dinner all the time.
Me too.
So I'm excited because I get to sit back, relax, and listen to a Lex case today.
Okay. We are going to talk about the certified baddie,
Woo!
Colleen Stan.
Love it.
Colleen grew up in Riverside, California. Her mother was a citrus grower, so they lived in orange groves.
I'm very jealous of that. That sounds beautiful.
She had two sisters, and her parents ended up getting divorced. She would go visit her dad on the weekends. Her mom actually got remarried, and her stepdad was not a nice person.
I hate that.
So at 14, she moved in with her dad. Her senior year of high school, she quit school to get married.
Colleen, that is a decision.
It's a decision. The marriage only lasted a year,
No.
and then she moved to Eugene, Oregon with her friends.
Bouncing back, I love it.
Colleen says she was a free spirit who loved to explore new places and meet new people. She was a hippie and loved the outdoors.
I love me a hippie.
I definitely would have been a hippie in the 70s if I was alive then, like for sure.
I hope I would because I just love the vibes.
Love the vibes. On May 19th, 1977, when Colleen was 20 years old, she wanted to go see a friend for her birthday, and her friend lived about 400 miles away. So Colleen decided that she was going to hitchhike. Very common in the 1970s for people to hitchhike.
I was just thinking that.
Colleen found somebody to take her 300 miles to Red Bluff. She had about 100 miles left to get to Westwood, where her friend was. So Colleen goes and she's standing on the ramp for about 20 to 30 minutes. And a carload of guys come up to her and offer her a ride. And she actually refuses. Colleen knew that she could get in some trouble in that situation. She was looking for more of a safer decision. She was discerning. She wasn't just going to get in a car with anybody.
Good for Colleen, especially being alone and during that time to like be conscious of that, I feel like is so important.
Another young couple stops, not another, just a young couple stops and talk to her. They said, hey, we're actually not going that far, and leave her on the side of the road. She has no problem waiting. This doesn't bother her at all. She knows that's kind of the ins and outs of hitchhiking.
Hmm.
Eventually, a young man and a woman stop. The man is 23-year-old Cameron Hooker, and the woman is his 19-year-old wife, Jan.
Okay.
The woman is holding an 8-month-old baby.
So Colleen again making good decisions. Like we're always told when we're younger, if you go missing in a public place, find a woman with a child, 9 out of 10 times, like that's a safe route to take.
Yeah. So they offer her a ride and she jumps in. She's like, this is a nice little family. This is perfect. Way better than that group of scary guys. But during the drive, she starts to get weird vibes.
Ooh,
She saw Cameron looking at her in the rearview mirror and it sent a chill down her spine.
I hate where this story is going.
They stop at a gas station and Colleen goes to the bathroom. While in the bathroom, she just gets this like overwhelming instinct that she needs to jump out the window and run as fast as she can.
Ooh,
Unfortunately, she doesn't listen to that instinct and she gets back in the car.
we need to listen to our instincts, baddies.
There is a wooden box next to her that wasn't there before.
Weird.
Cameron and Jan are like, hey, we were actually going to go check out some ice caves on the way. Is it cool if we stop at these ice caves? And she's like, I guess so.
Yeah, what can you do? They're giving you a ride.
They all start driving up the mountain where no one is around. All of a sudden, they stop and Cameron and Jan get out of the car. Jan takes the baby to play in this stream nearby, and Cameron jumps into the back seat, holding a knife to Colleen's throat. He handcuffs her hands behind her back. He says, are you going to do what I want you to do? And she agrees. She says, yeah, sure.
Again, what can you do in that situation? You have to agree. He has a knife, you're handcuffed.
And you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yes. And also, I think the fact that she just takes her child to go play while daddy goes and takes a knife out on a woman and handcuffs her and threatens her is so chilling to me. That's disgusting.
Yes. He puts a gag on her that covers her whole mouth so she can't yell.
Hmm.
He lays her down in the back seat and puts the box next to her over her head. This is kind of hard to explain over a not visual platform, but imagine like a rectangle box and you take like one of the short ends and it opens at the bottom and it fits over like the long side over your face and the back of your head. So it's like the bottom of the box, the short side has a hole in it that fits a head and it's buckled in around her neck.
That is terrifying to me. I'm extremely claustrophobic. That's extremely terrifying that they have this type of box with them. Is this their first time doing that? Like, it's disgusting.
Once he has the box over her head, he puts a sleeping bag over her to cover her. Jan and the child return to the car and they drive back down the mountain.
Oh, just normal. Disgusting.
They take Colleen to their house and bring her down to the basement. She is blindfolded this entire time. Cam starts to take the handcuffs off and starts to undress her.
No.
He puts leather restraints on her wrists and then hooks them to the ceiling. She must have been standing on like a stool or something because he removed it and now she's just hanging from the ceiling by her wrists.
I can't even fathom what must be going through her mind at this point. Like, this is terrifying. This is terrifying.
Cam starts to whip her. Colleen can kind of see through the blindfold if she looks down. You know, like how when you have a blindfold on, if you like, it's not tight on the bottom, so she can like look down and see a couple things. There's a table that has a porno magazine on it that shows a woman who is restrained hanging from the ceiling.
Like he used that as a map, quote unquote, like to be like, this is what's going to happen.
Cameron and Jan are in front of her having sex.
Sickos. What?
Yeah.
I hate everything about this case. Everything.
After they finish, they unhook her, put the head box back on,
No.
and put her in a crate from the neck down. There's hooks in this crate where they chain her wrists and her feet, and then they leave.
These people are diabolical because they're obviously like creating these things. Like you don't go to freaking Walmart and find these things. Like this is like evil. And the fact that they're both doing it with a child at home is disgusting.
In the morning, Cameron comes back down. He removes her from the box and puts her on a table and chains her feet and ankles to the corners and then leaves again.
What the poop?
Colleen's roommates start to worry after they haven't heard from her in 3 days. So they call her family, and on the fourth day, her family files a missing persons report.
Good.
After a month, the family start their own search, but as the months go by, there is still no trace of her.
Months are going by.
Months.
My God, Colleen, I feel so bad for her.
Back at the Hooker household, Cam had made his own homemade torture rack. There were chains, and he would put them on Colleen and then stretch her.
This is so twisted.
He kept her naked at all times. He controlled when she would eat or go to the bathroom. He threatened to cut her vocal cords if she screamed. And Colleen believed him. So she stays quiet through every bit of torture that he does.
Of course, because if he's doing all of this to you, I for sure would believe he would do the same thing. And how challenging that would be. I she she is a total baddie because I couldn't that's insane to me. I can't.
Colleen would ask him daily when he was going to let her go. And he always replied with, pretty soon. As the months go on, Colleen loses hope and stops asking.
Ugh.
After 3 months,
Three?
3 months, Cam built a room under the cellar's stairs for Colleen and called it her workroom. She was allowed to go in this workroom and do work being stuff like shelling walnuts.
What?
And this was the only time of day she wasn't blindfolded.
This is the most like bizarre psychological torture thing that I ever heard in my life. I am speechless this whole time so far.
9 months after her capture,
9.
Cam tells her that he is part of the company, an underground slave trading organization. He shows her a contract that would make her his slave for life. Part of the contract, like it says these crazy things, like she was to never wear undergarments. She was to preserve her body for his use and fulfill his every desire. She was not allowed to look into his eyes, and she could not speak unless spoken to. She had to call Cam sir or master and Jan ma'am. He tells her if she doesn't sign it, he will make her wish that she had.
Oh my.
Of course, Colleen has already been tortured for 9 months. She cannot imagine how much worse it would be if he had to make her wish that she had signed it.
1,010%.
So she signs it. And her slave name was Kay Powers.
I hate this.
After she becomes his slave, she's actually allowed out of the box sometimes. She could come upstairs to do chores. And big news, she got a nightgown to wear. So she didn't have to be naked all the time.
which probably felt like such a big thing, which is like so sad. Like,
Yep. After you've
I
been
just,
naked for 9 months straight.
yeah, and like forced into this contract and thinking like it's your only option and like you're getting this little win basically. And she is essentially that is, but it's just so
Yes.
sick that you had to live through that. And that's a little win for you.
Cam told her that if she were to run away, the company would hunt her down and nail her hands to a beam.
This man, dude, I can't.
Now that Colleen was allowed upstairs, Jan did not like it. As time progressed, Cam would take Colleen upstairs to his bedroom and rape her before returning her back to the box. Jan was furious about this. It broke the agreement that Jan had with Cameron. Jan had agreed to allow Cameron to have a slave if it meant they could have another child.
Okay. This is so flippin' twisted because I just want to vomit everywhere. I just want to vomit everywhere. You're like forcing this person to do all of this disgusting, nasty things and sign this disgusting, nasty contract. And this was what you wanted to do to have another kid. This is the decision that you guys made together. You want to bring a child into this disgusting mess?
I do want you to remember the age difference between them. She is 19 and he is 23, which is not that big of an age difference in the scheme of things. But they did get together when she was 15 years old.
And don't get me wrong, like I definitely think that there obviously was, well, not obviously, but I definitely think there probably was some psychological abuse between them as well. And some like I can understand that. But like she was a willing participant when they were doing it in front of her. You know what I mean? Like it's I
I don't think that's true.
really
I don't think that's true. I
okay.
think when you are scared of a man, you will do anything. Look at Colleen.
I mean, you're not wrong there. I'm just like irritated by everything, but go ahead.
Anyway, so Jan is upset because Cam was not supposed to have sex with his slave. So he would just continue to rape Colleen when Jan was not around.
I want to puke.
On April 28th, 1978, Cam moved the family to a mobile home on the outskirts of the city. Now, there is no basement in a mobile home. So, where
Mm,
is Colleen going to stay? He builds a ventilated wooden box under the couple's waterbed. And that is where Colleen stayed.
what in the actual heck?
From underneath the bed in the box, Colleen could hear Cam torturing Jan as well.
Okay, so you're right. I take back being mad as Jan as I was. I'm still not happy with Jan, but I do now feel for Jan.
Eventually, they do have their second child. Jan gives birth to the baby in the mobile home, and from under the bed, Colleen hears everything.
This is like making me want to vomit everywhere.
As time went on, Colleen started to get more freedoms. She was allowed to start taking care of the children and doing yard work. And eventually, she was granted permissions to take a 15-minute jog around the neighborhood. However, Colleen was terrified of the company.
Yeah, I would be too.
4 years into captivity,
4 years of living this hell.
in March of 1981, Cam let Colleen phone home and tell them she was coming for a visit.
What?
Apparently, the company approved it. He told her the company would be monitoring the visit with a bug that they placed in her dad's phone. He threatened that her family may get hurt or die. They go to her family's house, and Cam introduces himself as her boyfriend and then leaves her alone at the house.
What?
The family sees a ton of red flags.
Good.
Colleen had lost so much weight. She was wearing handmade clothing that wasn't her usual style, and her hair was very unkempt. She was always like a very put together person. They also knew Cameron was not the type of guy Colleen would usually go for. Her dad starts to suspect that she might be involved in a cult.
Which makes sense. And I can't even imagine like you think your daughter's missing for, or your daughter is missing for 4 years, and then you get this call, and then you see her, and it's in this like, that's not her. This man is weird. There's all these red flags. Like how you even go about navigating like having this conversation.
The family decides not to push her too hard because they want to make sure they don't push her away.
Makes sense.
Cam picks her up the next day and she actually poses in a photo with her arms around his neck and she's like smiling. And then Cam and Colleen leave the house. When they get back from her parents, he starts locking her in the box for longer periods again. She's locked in the box underneath their bed that is literally big enough for just a person to lay in. She used to have to take her foot and kick the bedpan up to her hand and then move the bedpan over so she could use the bathroom
Oh my God.
because she didn't even have enough room to like move. He was keeping her in there up to 23 hours a day.
That's the whole darn day.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So we're going to fast forward a bit. Colleen is now 27 years old. She has been with the hookers for 7.5 years.
7.5 years. I want to cry. Honestly, I'm not even kidding.
Jan starts taking her out of the box when the girls are at school and Cam is at work. And they actually start reading the Bible together.
Wow.
In May of 1984, Cam allowed Colleen to start sleeping on the living room floor instead of in the box. He also allows her to go to church with Jan, and he lets her get a job cleaning a motel.
Also, I am just thinking that it's been 7.5 years, like you said. So these children are old. And this is their reality that there's a woman who lives underneath their parents' bed. Like, I want to cry again.
One day, Jan goes in and talks to her pastor. So she's not completely honest with him, but she tells him that her, Cam, and Colleen are in this love triangle situation. And her pastor's like, God would not approve of that. So after this, Baddie Jan
Yay.
goes to Colleen's work and says, Colleen, there is no company. Cameron lied about every bit of it.
Okay, so I assume that there was no company just because that sounded like a bunch of BS. But imagine Colleen thinking that this was true and they were going to hurt your whole life. And you find out 7.5 years in that it's all flippin' made up to scare you and keep you trapped.
Mm-hmm. On August 10th, 1984, Colleen boards a bus home while Cam is at work.
Yes.
Before she leaves, she calls Cam and
Yes.
says,
Yes. Yes.
I am leaving and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yes. And I hope Jan gets out of there too.
Cam cries on the phone.
You're lying. This disgusting pig man does all that kind of crap and then just starts crying.
Colleen moves back in with her father. She tells her family about being abducted and tortured, but she refuses to go to the police. She just wants to move on with her life.
I mean, I can understand someone like that's why some women don't report when, sexual assaults and rapes because you have to relive that and go to court and deal with police proceedings. And that's like awful.
However, Colleen talked regularly with Jan, and Jan begged Colleen not to go to the police. And Colleen's like, not planning on it. We're done so here. Let's move on. After 3 months of being home, she gets a job cleaning. She's going to church. She's even dating.
Wow. Good for flipping Colleen.
Jan, Baddie Jan, takes her children and leaves Cam's ass.
Thank you. Thank you, Jan. It took you a minute, but thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Jan calls Colleen one day and says, people are coming to talk to you, and I need you to tell them everything. Jan had gone to the police.
Jan.
Jan not only tells them about Colleen, but about another sex slave that Cam kept that he had killed.
I said that and I remember I'm like, did they do this before? Like this box? And like, no. I was hoping that they no.
8 years earlier, on January 31st, 1976, just a year earlier,
Just a year.
20-year-old Marie Elizabeth Spanicki, I believe is how you say her last name, went missing after fighting with her boyfriend in the flea market. She was
No.
trying to hitchhike home, and Cam and Jan stopped to pick her up. Jan reported they put the box on her head, laid her down, covered her up, and stopped at a restaurant and got something to eat while they waited for it to get dark.
What the crud?
Marie was tied up in the car the entire time they were in the restaurant eating. Cam's plan was to keep her as his sex slave and cut her vocal cords so she couldn't tell anyone what happened.
Oh my God. So when he said that to Colleen, he literally has done that before.
Correct. When he cut her vocal cords, it didn't work. So he decided to kill her. Jan helped roll her up in a carpet and put her in the car, and they disposed of her on a side road quite a drive from their house.
He is the sickest human in the universe, and I cannot stand him at all. He's disgusting. And I have to give it to Jan for at least being forthcoming with her role in it as well. I know that she was obviously also abused and tortured and things like that, but she is not only saying he did all this, she's saying I helped, I whatever. So like that takes a big person, Jan.
As police start looking at this, they find out that Cam had met Jan when she was 15 or 16. He was extremely abusive. In fact, the police found a picture of Jan bound and submerged in a lake.
What? All of my reactions are the same, but this man continues to surprise me. He's disgusting piece of not even man. He's completely disgusting.
The police give Jan immunity in exchange for her telling them where Marie's body is and to testify against Cameron. However, Jan could never pinpoint a place and the police could not find Marie.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. It was like they had driven out like up this highway and just had taken like he had taken a first side road he'd seen. So she tried to like find it, but like I don't know about you. If I'm not driving, I really know where I am.
No, and under like a stressful situation and like things like I can
It's dark
understand.
out when you're doing that.
Yeah, but just for her family, I feel bad that they weren't able to put her to rest.
Colleen asks her parents to sit in with her when she talks to the police, and Colleen confirms all of Jan's story. They ask Colleen about any other sex slaves, and she had said that when she was in the basement, she had seen a picture of another woman propped up. And when Colleen starts to describe the woman in the picture, they realized it was a picture of Marie.
Oh my God, he kept a picture of her and propped it up.
11 days after Jan went to the police arrest Cam.
Yes. Yay, yay, yay. Long time coming.
Cam will not talk and asks for a lawyer. The police search Cam's trailer and find the head box and the torture items and the bondage items. They look in the shed and there's a door on the floor and it opens up and there's like stairs down to a dungeon. So he was planning on doing this again.
1,012%. What a freaking freak.
They do not offer Cam bail.
Good.
And the prosecutor on the case was Christine McGuire. This baddie
Yeah.
was the only female prosecutor in the entire county at the time.
Yes, and I love that they used a female on his stupid butt.
Yes, it's a real girl power team. It's like Christine, Colleen, and Jan all against Cam.
Taking his booty down, his disgusting trifling butt.
So the defense
No good.
obviously have proof that he kidnapped her. Can't get out of that one. So what
Nope.
did they do? They start to say, was Colleen really held against her will? They say, yeah, he did kidnap her and he did hold her, but then he let her go and she stayed willingly. And they said the only crime he committed was kidnapping and the statute of limitations had run out. So the jury can't find him guilty.
I realize that being a defense lawyer is people's jobs. And I realize that part of their job is to get their clients off. However, I think it takes a very special kind of human to say that about a woman who was tortured and held against her will for 7.5 years to try to save your client who is clearly guilty. I don't know about you, but I'm not here for it.
Yeah. They were also a little worried about the court case, the prosecutor side, because Colleen was completely detached from the situation. She was not outraged. She was not broken. She had a job. She was dating. She put this wall up because she did not want to relive those years. So, to the people in the courtroom, she looked not really upset by the whole debacle.
Which is fair, but also like that's how people survive. That's how she could survive with all of the disgusting torture things she went through. She had to put that wall up. She had to keep living and say, this isn't going to take me down. She had to be a straight up baddie. She had no other flipping choice.
Yes. So Batty Christine uses all the evidence to showcase what Colleen really endured. She
Good.
has the head box, she has the box she was kept in, and all the homemade torture equipment. She actually asked volunteers from the jury to get into the boxes and the head boxes. She knew she couldn't ask Colleen to do that and relive that torture. So she showed how small and tight these items were by having the jury get in them themselves.
That is a baddie move.
Jan gets up and testifies and says that he acted out all of his sexual fantasies and tortured her since she was 15 years old.
15.
She agreed to let him keep a slave because she was so tired of being tortured herself.
Which is sad.
And Jan admits everything on the stand. She tells them everything.
Again, good for her.
Colleen also had to testify. Colleen did not show any emotion on the stand and she did not cry. Colleen was actually on the stand for 3 days.
3 days. I feel bad for her. Who wants to do that for 3 days?
I know, right? Then the defense presented their evidence. They had love letters that Colleen had written to Cameron, and she had written some before and some after she had been freed.
Colleen did.
Yes. Phone records also showed that she called the Hooker house 29 times after she had left.
Weren't her and Jan in contact though?
Everyone was shocked. The defense goes on and on about all the freedom she had. Why was she staying when she had opportunities to leave and get out? Cambo Slice over here
Ugh.
gets on the stand and said that Jan and Colleen had plotted against him. He said that, yes, he kidnapped her, tortured her, and made her believe in the company. But at some point, their relationship had changed. He claimed he loved her and she was in love with him. He also claimed that Jan and Colleen were sleeping together
Oh my God.
and made all of this up to get Cam out of the picture.
That's like the typical D-bag response. Like, are you flipping kidding me? Like, oh, that could be the only reason why I'm sitting in this courtroom today. Like, move on with that. Goodbye. And also, the love letters and the calling, Colleen was psychologically abused. That's like Stockholm syndrome.
So that's my next thing is
Oh.
motherfucking Batty Christine brings on a forensic psychiatrist, Chris Hatcher. And Chris Hatcher has done some amazing new research on brainwashing and Stockholm syndrome. So, really, for kind of like the first time in the public eye, people are learning about what brainwashing does and how in Stockholm syndrome, when your captor who's tortured you for 4 years gives you a nightgown, it starts to seem like maybe he cares about you and you guys do have a relationship.
Yes, which is like so sad.
The jury find Cam guilty.
Thank you.
The judge sentenced him to 104 years.
Let you rot in prison until the day you die.
Eh.
Oh God. Oh God.
Cameron had a parole hearing in 2015. His parole was denied for 15 years. So that would be 2030.
5 years from now.
But there were changes to the state laws that reopened the possibility of his parole.
Why?
In 2021, Cam was paroled to the Department of State Hospitals.
In 2021, 4 years ago, Alexis, you are telling me that this man was paroled and got out of jail.
He is paroled to a mental hospital, a state run mental hospital.
Which, granted, he obviously has lots of mental issues, but this man's is out of flipping jail.
Yes.
That grinds the gears, sister.
The Tehama County District Attorney in California is lobbying to get Cameron designated as a sexual violent predator, as this will not make him eligible for any parole.
Good.
The hearing was supposed to be in April of 2024, but keeps getting pushed back. As far as I can tell, the trial has not happened yet, and there's not a set date for it to start. So there's hope.
Thank goodness there's hope, and I can't even believe that this is still going on today. Like that, there's a possibility this man's could be paroled.
So that is the incredible survival story of Colleen Stan, certified baddie. And Jan's a baddie, and Christine's a baddie, and go women. Cam sucks.
Yeah, for sure. I really hope Colleen and Jan are doing well. I hope that they're in therapy and the children are in therapy. And I hope that, that they're able to move on and live the best life that they can from living this like torturous time in their lives. Like they are amazing that they were able to persevere. And wow.
I would highly, highly recommend the documentary that I got almost 100% of this information from. It's called Colleen Stan, The Girl in the Box. There's two parts. It's on A&E Crime Central, and Colleen is interviewed and explains the whole story from her own point of view.
Colleen is in it.
Yeah, like they ask her and she literally walks them through everything that she went through.
Oh my God. She is a strong, strong lady.
Yes.
This is just one that made my tum tum hurt. And one I'm happy that didn't end. Well, it did end in murder because Marie was murdered. But for Colleen and Jan, they were able to get out of the situation is always positive.
Yes.
I just can't fathom that. Like they had to live that torturous life.
And I think, both of them are inspiring women because as much as, wrong that Jan did in that time period, she was also brainwashed and she got the strength to not only get Colleen out, but get herself and her kids out as well.
Yeah. And then like it also shows too that like you can get out of a really crappy situation. Like it took Colleen 7.5 years and Jan even longer, but eventually they were able to find the strength and get out. And that's admirable as can be.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that was a tough one, but thank you so much for listening. Please, wherever you're listening, give us a follow, give us a little nice review. Like, hey, baddies, you're great. 5 stars. Also, go follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube.
And don't forget to send us an email with a case suggestion or a story to bloodshedbaddies@gmail.com. Our intro music is made by Cousin Vinny. He's also on all streaming music platforms, so give him a listen. Tell a friend, tell everybody in the whole entire universe, and tune in next week for a hopefully more stomachable
Well,
episode.
it's yours, so you should know.
We'll see you, baddies.
Bye bye.
Love you. I'm gonna bomb now.